when the actual end date of fall is, but for me, fall is officially over and I am moving on into winter. So I thought that I would take a look back on my fall bucket list that I made in the very beginning of the season and just kind of take a look back. I did this for my summer bucket list and it was probably one of my favorite videos, and so I thought that I would do the same thing with the fall bucket list. So I don't want this video to be super long, so I'll just go ahead and jump right in. So I don't know if I mentioned, but in the beginning of fall, I just cut off some fall leaves from a vine that I had bought at Michael's, and I just cut them off and then just wrote my bucket list items right on there. So I'm just gonna pull these out at random and talk about them. So this one is Stomp on Crunchy Leaves. I think that we did this a couple of times this season. There was one time where we went up to Evergreen and we walked around the lake and there were lots of leaves on the ground. And there was, when we were leaving, there was a pile of leaves. And I remembered my bucket list item and I'm like, let's go stomp on crunchy leaves. And then we've been on a couple of fall walks, and so obviously we felt the crunchy leaves on our feet. So yeah, that was kind of my bucket list, was I wanted to just make sure that there were at least a couple of times this fall that we got out and just took a nice little fall walk, and we accomplished that. This one is Drink Hot Cocoa Outside. This is one of my favorite fall memories. My sister and my brother-in-law, and then my brother and his girlfriend and his kids, they live in Colorado, all came over, and I made pumpkin hot chocolate, which was so delicious. So I made that in the crock pot. We had them over for dinner, and after dinner we all went outside and we brought our blankets and we just drank hot cocoa around the fire pit outside, and I just absolutely loved it. Definitely one of my favorite fall memories. Fall drive through the mountains. We did this one twice as well. The first one was in the very beginning of the season when we were in Utah visiting. We had like an hour to kill before going to Salt Lake, and so Joe suggested that we drive through Provo Canyon, which is a super beautiful canyon in Utah, and the leaves were still changing and the mountains were just so beautiful. It was a super beautiful drive. I'm glad that we were able to do it. So we did that one, and then we also drove up to Evergreen to walk around the lake, and so that was a very beautiful fall drive through the mountains. So got that one done. Buy pumpkins. We did this one. This is probably one of my top 3 favorite fall memories. We did this one when we went up to Evergreen, and originally we were just going up to Evergreen to just do a fall drive and to walk around the lake with the dogs. But as we were leaving, the sun was like literally about to set. We saw a pumpkin patch, and I was like, it's on my bucket list to go buy pumpkins. And so it was a super last minute thing, but I also wanted to accomplish another one on my bucket list. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, dude, it was the first one I picked up. I wanted to get a Starbucks apple cider. I had never had a Starbucks apple cider, but they were about to close in like literally 5 minutes. I called the vlog Mission Impossible Fall because it was like mission impossible to get these 2 things crossed off my bucket list. So we had to hurry up and go to Starbucks to get the hot apple cider before they closed, and then we had to race back to the pumpkin patch and pick out a pumpkin before the sunset. So we successfully got the apple cider. We raced back. By the time we got to the pumpkin patch, it was dark. But we were like, we don't want to turn around just because it's dark. Like, we can go and pick pumpkins in the dark. Like, it'll be fine. And so the people kind of thought that we were crazy at first, but we just turned on the flashlight and we started picking out our pumpkins in the dark, and it was so fun. So it was like this really fun, last minute, unplanned adventure that we ended up going on, all because of the fall bucket list, which is the reason why I make bucket lists, so that you can really have an adventure in your life. Because to me, it just helps you make such fun memories together. The next one, I actually wrote it in pen, so it's kind of hard to see. Swing on a swing set with Joe at sunset. Now this is one that is actually on my life bucket list, and I decided to put it on my fall bucket list because I thought that it would just be a fun time to do it. And we actually did this on Joe's birthday. It is one of my favorite, not only fall memories, but also one of my lifetime favorite memories. So we did it on Joe's birthday on the way home from dinner, and he was like, what else can we do? And the sun was like just about to start to set. And so I told him it was on my bucket list, and we went to the nearest park, and we went and swung together on the swing set at the park. while looking at the sunset, and it was just so picturesque. We had so much fun together. My stomach was hurting by the end of it because we were just laughing so hard. One of the reasons why I put on a swing set with Joe on my bucket list is because it's just a very like kid thing to do, something that you loved doing as a kid, but then as you become an adult, like you don't really look for those opportunities to swing on a swing set, and it is so much fun. If I hadn't put it on my bucket list, I don't think that we would have captured that memory together, and it is such a cherished memory of mine. Definitely one of probably my favorite. Make fall treats. I did do that, right? I ended up making 3 new hot chocolate recipes this fall, and I made them all inside of the crock pot, and to me that's like a very fall treat. And I've never made that many. Like, I don't think I had ever made hot chocolate from scratch actually. I had always just bought the packets. And so that was super fun. I made the pumpkin one when my family was here and we drank it outside. I made a cinnamon one when I was in Utah, and that was a really fun fall memory. I actually made it with my niece and my nephew when we were in Utah, and we just made this crock pot hot chocolate together, and then we did something afterwards that's coming up. And so yeah, that was a really fun memory making that with them. And then I made apple dumplings. I made that video. That's definitely a fall treat for me. I make it all throughout the year, but I especially make it during fall. I thought there was at least one more thing that I had made. Watch a fall movie. This is another one that I did while I was in Utah. After we had made the hot cocoa together, we sat down and watched Hocus Pocus together, which was super fun. The next little leaf is do service, and we got this one accomplished actually this past week. Joe and I went to the store, and the Denver Rescue Mission was collecting turkeys. And then they also said that you can pick up anything else that's non-perishable that you would need for a Thanksgiving dinner so that they can give it to the less fortunate. So we went to the store and we picked up boxes of stuffing and cranberry sauce and turkeys obviously, and so we just had fun going to the store together and picking out everything that somebody would need, most of what they would need to make a Thanksgiving dinner. And then we dropped off all of the ingredients and the turkeys off to the shelter, and actually Mark Schlereth was there, which is a former Broncos player. He's like a big football player and he's on ESPN now, I guess. So that was really a fun surprise for Joe to see him there. He was helping with the whole thing. So yeah, that was a fun little surprise, and we loved being able to get out and help those less fortunate during this holiday season. Host a fall party. I wanted to make this one really simple. Sometimes when I host a party, I get a little like crazy with it and I spend money that doesn't need to be spent. So really I just wanted to invite a few of my girlfriends over and just drink hot chocolate together. Oh, that's what we did. That's what we did. So I invited my friends over, and then I had just made some hot chocolate so that we can just sit around and talk together over a cup of hot chocolate. And then I thought that it would be fun to make a new fall recipe that none of us had ever made and just make it together instead of me just making it by myself. So we made chewy pumpkin chocolate chip cookies, which were amazing. Definitely the chewiest cookie I have ever had. They were so delicious, and it was so fun to just invite friends over and just have a casual evening together, baking a new recipe together, drinking hot chocolate together, and just sitting around and socializing. That's also when I made another fall treat. I was like, I know I'm forgetting something. Buy boots. So I did buy boots this season. I always think that boots look funny on me. I'm really short, I'm 5'1.5", and I have really chubby knees. So Joe knew that this was on my bucket list. So actually on Halloween, I was gonna say Easter, on Halloween he surprised me and took me to DSW and said, let's buy some boots. I should have put buy and wear the boots. Yes. I don't know, there's just something about me that just, I feel like I can't pull off boots, and so I have to take the next step and actually like implement them into my life. But I did buy them, so I can technically cross this off. Almost done. Bake a pie. This one I actually just did this past weekend. It was so fun. I put it on there because I knew that it intimidated me. I've never made a pie from scratch before, and so I put it on my fall bucket list so that I could just bite the bullet and just challenge myself and do it, whether it was a failure or a success. At least just get out there and learn something and try. And so on Sunday, Joe and I baked the pie together, and it was such a fun thing to do. Number one, the pie came out amazing. More importantly, it was just such a fun memory with Joe and I to just get in the kitchen and make something that neither of us had ever made before. And the last one, decorate for fall, of course. As you can see, I decorated for fall. I love decorating for all of the seasons. It's something that when I was a little girl, I always dreamed about doing, like having a home someday and being able to decorate it for fall and Christmas and Easter. And so whenever I'm able to decorate my home for a season, especially fall, it's such a beautiful season with such beautiful colors. I'm always just like hit with such gratitude for my life and for a lot of the dreams that I've had as a little girl coming true. And so it's definitely kind of a very nostalgic thing for me. So that is everything from my fall bucket list. This was one of my favorite bucket lists that I've ever done. I think one of the reasons is because I kept it really simple. A lot of the things that were in my bucket list, on my bucket list, were things that were just like little memories that I was trying to capture, but nothing like super major or anything that cost a lot of money at all. So for me, a bucket list really just helps me to like remember to take those little moments out. So it was a really fun bucket list this year, and I'm excited to put together the Christmas/winter bucket list. I was trying to figure out if I was gonna do a Christmas one or a winter one, and I think I'm just gonna combine the two, but I need help with ideas. Thank you so much for watching. A lot of you guys were a huge part of my fall bucket list because a lot of them we did during the Saturday vlog or the bits of the week, and so you guys were kind of right there along with us. So thanks for being a part of our lives and a part of our memories. Hope that you guys had an awesome fall and that you're gonna have a super awesome winter, and I will see you guys later. Bye.